Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Mr. Argueta coming to you week number 5 in our Principles of Management class. Today is September 15th. By the way, the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. So for all my Hispanic, Latino, people from that region, celebrate you as we celebrate all cultures and everyone. So go out there and eat a taco or a pupusa or tamale and enjoy the beauty of diversity. That said, as you can tell, I am here and I am doing better. I'm on a pathway to recovery. I'm still not fully there, but thank you for all your thoughts and prayers. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing students. You're great. You've been so kind to me, very patient with me. I have graded all your assignments up to this point, so you should have an accurate view of your midterm grade as of today. Moving forward, so I know that, we usually talk about last week, this week, next week type of structure, but this week we have a special guest, of course. But prior to that, I want to give you guys a little sense of relief. I know a lot of people have going through stuff that happens all the time. It's life. It happens to me. It happened to me in the middle of the semester. So I know I'm a stickler when it comes to not accepting late work or extensions, and I want you to understand why I do that. I don't want you to think I'm just trying to be a tough guy. I'm not. I'm a real softy. What I want is to be able to be fair across the board to everybody in every situation. So instead of being the judge of who deserves an extension or who deserves, late assignment, what I do is I just drop your lowest test score from your quiz for a week and your lowest assignments and a Learn Smart, which will balance the field across the board, I feel, because if you're doing great, awesome. But if you had a difficult week, as some of you might have gone through, then you don't have to really worry about that. But I always encourage you, as I have before, focus on your discussions, because that's going to impact your overall grade the most. That is going to be where I can determine if you're understanding the material or not. Let's be honest, a lot of the information that's in the book, you can look for it, you can Google it, you can find it, but a discussion comes out of your brain. Hopefully and thankfully, this semester, there's been very little concerns about AI, improper AI usage. As you know, I encourage you to use AI in a proper and ethical way. I discourage you to use it as if it's your prompting a question. I use it to correct your grammar, to prompt you ideas, to give you some background knowledge of the topic. Definitely, absolutely, I encourage that. But create your own thoughts in these discussions, and that's where I know that you're learning the material. That said, once again, thank you for your support. Thank you for all the well wishes and prayers and thoughts and all the good vibes. I really do appreciate it. But we're here because I want to introduce you to Meg. Meg, as I mentioned, she's amazing. She has supported so many students in our area here in Whitfield, Maury County. If you're in another campus, you'll probably have someone else similar to Meg, not as good as Meg, but similar to Meg, that supports you, especially in your first semester registration. But then Meg continues her work, not necessarily with advisement, because from the second semester on, you're assigned to one of the instructors within our program to help you through that journey. So just to be clear, what that means is the first semester you probably met with someone like Meg, a success coach, and she helped you with your schedule. But second semester, you'll receive an email from me, and it'll have a list of our schedules, and you can book an appointment with an advisor if you need to. Now, there is about 500 business management students and 3 advisors. So what that means is that our schedule gets booked quickly, and sometimes you miss out on an opportunity to get a class because you can self-register at that point. So after second semester, you can go in there and say, I need English 101. Let me get it before everyone else takes it. Or I need biology, which goes very quickly. You want to get in there and get those classes. But if you're concerned about, do I need this class? Or I want to become this. Should I be taking this pathway or that pathway? That's when you want to reach out to us. We will be happy to help you register, but we want to also put you in power to take control of your pathway and understand it. And I'm pretty sure you've gotten your pathway at some point through this journey. I encourage you to get involved in that journey because it's not fully my responsibility. My responsibility is to support you as Meg's is, but it is your responsibility to take ownership of your path. And I want to be there alongside you. So if you need my support, we're here. But that said, let me allow Meg to speak and let you know what she does, and then we'll just have a conversation with Meg. All right, so Meg, the mic is yours.
Okay, wow, hot mic. Okay. So thank you for that introduction, and thank you for that explanation of how my role in the student's journey changes after the first semester. Because I think a lot of students just think, oh, that's the advisor lady, I'll go talk to her about my classes. And I'm still happy to support students in any way I can after the first semester. But really, after that first semester, my role shifts from advising to coaching. And a lot of students don't really understand what coaching is. So I want to take a minute to kind of explain that. Basically, coaching from an academic perspective is really similar to coaching in an athletic perspective. So I work with students on how to be the best student they can be rather than how to be the best athlete they can be. With most of our students, that typically is in 3 separate areas, which would be time management, study skills, and test-taking strategies. Those are the issues that students tend to come back and come in with concerns about. So for time management, what we'll usually do is just sit down with a planner or the Outlook calendar, and we will just go hour by hour, line by line, and we will work out a student's schedule. Maybe they've got a lot of competing demands on their time. I know a lot of these students are not just students, they're also parents, employees, spouses, so much going on in their lives. So we really do have to be intentional about how we're using time. So sitting down with a planner and accounting for every hour of your day, it's kind of overwhelming at first, but it really helps students understand where they are losing time. And sometimes we have to have that tough conversation of, you really do have too much on your plate right now and something has to give. And that's okay. That's why withdrawals are a thing. And that's why some instructors very generously offer to drop lower grades. So that's one of the things that we can do to work on time management. Study skills is another big thing.
It's huge. Yeah, I think a lot of us come out of high school and we really didn't learn how to study.
Exactly.
And we go to college and then we run into this issue. So I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it can be overwhelming too, because you've got a test coming up and you covered all this content and you just don't know where to start. So that's another thing that I love to work with students on. We'll talk about intentionally highlighting and note-taking, using flashcards. I love a good flashcard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that way you can go into the test feeling more confident, and that's a great segue into test-taking strategies and test anxiety, because that's another thing I hear about a lot. Students, they feel like they know the material, they feel prepared, and then they get to the test and it's just not happening.
I get a lot of emails that said, because I mean, our structure, our students get to see the questions every week, on a weekly basis. And then in the midterm and final, we recycle those questions to make it a little easier. But even with that said, we have a 40-minute clock on the midterm and final, and they got 40 questions. So they got a minute per question, and it creates such an anxiety in them. And I try to calm them down, but I think it would be great for you and them to meet at some point if they struggle. If you're struggling with that, this is what you want to hear. It's like, how do I control that anxiety? Because that anxiety sometimes can overwhelm us. And that's all of us, that's all of us when we're faced with anything in the world. So, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. And I mean, everything you said is exactly right. When you're in that, sort of stressful environment, your body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a tiger and having a 40-minute timer on your exam. So you start to have that stress response. Your heartbeat increases, your face might start to turn red because your body's ready to run for its life. And that's not conducive to taking a test. So we can work on strategies to kind of bring everything back down, help you focus on the task at hand, but also just, non-anxiety related strategies like using a process of elimination, using your logic skills to kind of narrow down the correct question. And even if that doesn't directly eliminate your anxiety, that can contribute to an overall feeling of comfort with the exam.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's important to know that one of the big things GNTC does, and one of the things that I'm proud of being part of this team, is we have a lot of support. I mean, of course, you have Meg and you have us and the business management side of it, but you also have like library services that are more than willing to help you. I know I have students that will email me and be like, my computer's broken. And I don't know if they're aware that we have an entire system here to support you in that. Even from, I've seen people who don't have a laptop be able to do a loaner laptop. And I'm not guaranteeing that for anyone because I don't have any responsibility of that, but I've seen that happen. And I'm sure there's a limited amount of them. But I want you to know and take away from this video is that you're not alone in this journey. I was a first generation college student as well. I always tell the story of coming into orientation. I was a student athlete, and I went in for the first day, and everybody was doing this massive registration process and orientation process, and I was lost. And I was looking around, and I saw parents with their kids, and my parents didn't even know they had to show up. So I was just there and like completely confused. So I felt alone, and I think that really impacted me in thinking that I had to carry this burden all by myself throughout the time that I was in college. And I always try to tell you guys, and in my videos I try to support you. Even this whole concept of videos is to show you that I'm not just some person in the world out there that doesn't have a face. I'm a normal person just like you. I shared with you my real life scenario. Like, I was in a hospital. I told you, I wrote to you, I showed you videos. Like, I want you to know that we are at the same level in humanity. We're together in this. Your success will be my success. Seeing you graduate and walk on that stage is what makes my job fulfilling. Like, trust me when I tell you, as a business management professor, this isn't what I want to get paid. I want to get paid a lot more. But you know, to me, seeing a student graduate and being successful in their career path is beyond rewarding. It's an intrinsic reward I cannot replicate anywhere else extrinsically. So you know, Meg, myself, the library services, the support team that we have, we're here for you. Even services, I know that we have services for students that are going through difficult times in life, and you have free counseling, free therapy sessions. Like, you know, I know that that's not what we want to hear, but when we're going through a difficult moment in life, that's what you need to understand, is that's when those systems kick in to support you, because what we want truly is to see you succeed. So, you want to share contact information or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. So the best way to get in touch with the coach on your campus would just be to email studentsuccesscoaches@gntc.edu. Those emails go to all of the coaches, so whoever is assigned to you will just jump into that email thread and get you the information you need.
Awesome. And you know how to get a hold of me. The easiest way to do it is through email. My email, if you send me an email, I can respond pretty quickly. If you leave me a voicemail, we finally updated some of our voicemail capacities here so I could see them. But I highly recommend just sending me an email, because I can get back to you within hours versus days. And it'll be the best way to, you know, get my attention. Other than that, we'll be hopefully back on track here in regards to my health very soon. But, you know, continue to be patient and kind. Other than that, I encourage you guys to stay hydrated. It's going to be a hot day today. Be kind to each other, and have a wonderful week, guys. We will see you next time. Take care. We'll see you.